Okay, what's good, everybody? It is the 10th of August, and it is 1:30 p.m. I'm pretty sure I'm live. I'm going to just double check here on my phone because I'm such a noob. But let's see if I'm live, and uh, and then we're gonna get this going. Okay, so right now. Yeah, I'm live. Okay, sweet. So right now, I got a request from TJ to look into BlackSky, BKSY, and I said, why not? It's a Palantir holding, and BlackSky, I imagine, is very involved with the war that's unraveling in Europe, between Russia and Ukraine. I think just the other day, people said Russia launched a bunch of satellites through Kazakhstan to monitor. They said it wasn't to monitor, but people are suspecting that it was to monitor what's happening on the ground in Ukraine. So I figured it's perfect timing, because I always thought BlackSky was interesting, and although it could be interesting as a business, interesting as a business module, you got to ask yourself, is it interesting as a business too, So wait, let me see this news here before I correct myself, and I don't want to look like an idiot. So okay, so this is the news. Okay, all right, I got it. So it says, let me make myself a little bit smaller here so you can all see what's going on. So this happened just the other day, okay? And it said Russia launches Iranian satellite into space from Kazakhstan base. The launch signals the beginning of strategic cooperation between the two countries. I guess the U.S. is concerned because obviously, if there's more satellites going up, then it's going to potentially complement the war efforts in Ukraine and help the Russians. So a high-resolution Iranian-owned satellite has been launched into space on board a Russian rocket. The remote sensing Kayam satellite, which Iran has said it wants to use for non-military purposes, was successfully launched on Tuesday, according to footage aired live. Earlier this month, the Washington Post quoted anonymous Western intelligence officials as claiming that Russia plans to use the satellite for months or longer to assist its war efforts in Ukraine. The claim has been rejected by the Iranian Space Agency, which said last week it will have exclusive control from day one. So, all right, so there's the back and forth dance. Everybody's talking shit. Everybody's like, yeah, you're doing this, you're doing that. But, if you had to use your judgment, if Russia is helping Iran launch the satellite, then you scratch your back, I scratch mine, or you scratch my back, I scratch your back, type of thing. It's that kind of situation. I would imagine that Russia's gonna, Iran, they're not lying, they have full control, but Russia's gonna be like, yeah, can you give me A, B, C, D and feed me that on a regular basis? And maybe Iran is gonna be doing just that. It's gonna be capturing images of Ukrainian troop positions, where their weapon depots are, where things are being moved, where the highly valuable rocket launcher donations that Ukraine has received from the US and Western allies, like where is that being stored temporarily? So it could be interesting. I don't know if there's a lot of background noise that's coming right now. There's a lot going on in my house right now, so apologies for that. But since this is live, I cannot control what's happening in the back. So right now I hear some like crazy scrubbing noise in the background. I don't know. And then you might hear some loud yelling or talking or whatever. But anyways, let's get into BlackSky and see what's up. So first thing I'm going to do is BKSY. Okay, well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at how my actual findings from BlackSky. I think the last time I did an update on BlackSky was for which quarter was it? It was, okay, they went public on 10th of September, and I had third quarter results. So 30th of September, 2021. At that time, they had 198 million in cash, total assets of 324. Should I zoom in a little bit? Maybe I should make myself a little bit smaller. and they had total assets of 324, liabilities of 171. So net asset position was pretty good. The revenues was 23 million. At that time, they had 12 satellites in the sky, and the services that they were, the services they were offering with those satellites, they generated $7 million. And those services were object detection, site monitoring, enhanced analytics, through which we can detect pattern of life change, and 1 million in imagery. And then the rest were engineering services. So they're probably offering their expertise to other companies to help them get their satellites in the sky. Operating loss of 88 million, net income loss of 251. Obviously, this is largely related to going public. So back then, I said Palantir invested $8 million in BlackSky. How can Palantir profit? I said that they have an equity stake and they had a deal for Foundry Services for $8 million. So 1-to-1. And then they can have synergies. And this was something huge because the synergies for Palantir is a big deal, right? Palantir works with a lot of government customers and a lot of military customers who need live imagery, and Palantir has already multiple satellite services integrated into their Meta Constellation offering. So they have Spectra AI, they have did I note the others? Astrocast, they have BlackSky. There's a bunch of stuff. Like if you look at the Meta Constellation video, you see that they have a lot of different suppliers of satellite imagery, and BlackSky being one of them. So now let's go into the BlackSky details. So I think the best place I would start is I would first go to their website, see investors relation, and see what's good there. See what any big news. So the Q2 2022 quarter ended June 30th, 2022 just came out. So let's open that up. Earnings webcast, who cares? Earning presentation, I'll just have that because usually they add some fluff in there that could be relevant. Let's view the 10K, the latest 10K that they have. So that's linked right here. Wait, what the hell is this? 10K is annual. Okay, no, I need to find the 10Q. Do they post it here? Earnings release. Okay, they have the details here, so I can leverage that. Okay, fine. All right, so what are my thoughts? Okay, the biggest thing for any company I invest in, the first thing I do is I look at liquidity. Is liquidity going to be an issue? Is the company going to survive for the next 12 months? And is it going to be like a bad news where it's suddenly they're like, oh yeah, we don't have cash, please somebody help us, we need to raise cash, and then shareholders get diluted like big time. So when I look into that, I see, so we're gonna go jump straight into the balance sheet. Okay, keep in mind this is not audited. It's June 30th 2022 snapshot of what's happening. It's very possible that after June 30th 2022, between July 1st and August 10th, the company went to absolute shit and everything fell apart. But typically, if you have competent leaders, that doesn't happen. Okay, so let's just judge with what we have. So here they say cash 65 mil. What did they have before? Holy shit. So they had 198 on September 30th 2021. So about 9 months have passed. Technically 9 months have passed, and they burned about $130 million. God damn. So they are burning the cash money with no issues. And look, the snapshot from December 31st 2021 shows that they had $166 million. So that this literally, the $100 million burn happened in the last 6 months. So I have no idea what they spent it on. Maybe we'll see it further down the line. They acquired a bunch of satellites, launched a bunch of satellites that are up in the sky, and that's maybe why this happened. But wait, let me see what's going on in the chat. My bad, guys. Is there a chat? So okay, chat. Is the chat open? Oh, nobody's in the chat. Okay, cool. Live chat? Yeah, nobody's in the chat. So I'll just keep this open on the side there. But so it's very possible that they've invested their equipment, they invested a lot of money in equipment, or there was like some kind of nasty lawsuit, whatever. We're gonna get into details, we'll find out soon enough. So restricted cash 2.5, short-term investments 43. It looks like they spent some money, 100 million potentially, because this was 0. So I'm super curious to see if it's just they parked some cash in GICs for 1-year GIC at 2% interest or something like that. TBD. 124, 178. So okay, property, plant and equipment. They did spend some money on property, plant and equipment, 14 mil. Satellite procurement work in process. This went down, so this probably went into equipment. Total liabilities. Okay, so this is where, okay, obviously this looks pretty good. The first thing I do is I look at current liabilities, right? Current is what's going to happen in the next 12 months. That is the obviously the company can lie to you, but because it's unaudited. But current liabilities is the biggest flashpoint for me. And what I typically do to just do a quick judgment is I look at total current liabilities and I say, okay, they owe $23 million in the next 12 months. They have $65 million right now. And, short-term investments is cash, then, it's just money market paper. Like then it's maybe not, then you would say, okay, they have like 100 million cash and 23 million liabilities, but I got to see what this is. The fact that it says short-term investments leads me to believe that it's not really SPACs or anything stupid like that, like what Palantir does, and it's probably really like GICs, but we'll see. And having said that, let me see if I can open up the live chat here on my OBS. Give me one sec. Live chat, what are you? View stats, view, edit. Bro, how do I view live chat? Hold up. Captions? No. Scene? No. Docs? No. Wait, docs, yeah. Chats. There you go. All right, cool. So we got the chat open. Obviously, no one's there yet because the YouTube algorithm probably hates my guts because I haven't posted videos in so long, but it's all good. I actually do this for fun. So, okay, so that's what we see, okay? So we got that from the balance sheet. Cash position, pretty good. And I mean, cash position has dropped big time, but in comparison to liabilities, it's pretty good. So like if the liabilities triple, then it would eat up all the cash. So that's not bad. Now, if we look at long-term liabilities, you see here they have a long-term debt of 72 million. So if the long-term debt shareholder, if there's some kind of covenants or like deals in the background that say, well, if you're not respecting this EBITDA target, or if your working cap is not within within this range, then the long-term debt can suddenly become current. Then that's an issue, right? But right now it's marked as long-term debt, so I'm not too worried. And if it does become an issue and it suddenly gets grouped into current, then you would look at 72 plus 23. We're talking about 95. They got 65 in cash here and 44. So they should be able to cover everything anyways. So the cash position or the overall asset position is good. That's how I would look at this. Now let's go and look at revenues. The revenues is oh man, let me see if I can zoom in and get a bit better. Okay, this is a bit better. I mean, it's really up in your face now. Maybe I need to move this, make it a bit smaller. I'll just move this here. Whatever. All right. So the revenue side, this is where all the magic is, right? Last year, they pulled in 23 for 9 months. This year, they're pulling in 23 for 6 months. So it's a notable improvement. They are accelerating. They're actually pulled in 29. And last year, the bulk of their work was engineering, right? They, as we saw here, they said 7 million from satellites out of the 23 and 1 million from imagery, I believe. So 8. But engineering was 15. So, here we see that engineering now is 5 and 23 is imagery. So it's crazy how 9 months can change things. And you see how now the bulk of their revenues is coming from imagery and software analytical services. And before it was 6 Now, imagery slash software analytical. Yeah, okay, it's good. I was just wondering, like, oh, I was wondering, like, did they regroup it? You know, like, did they change some groupings? Like, this used to be buried in engineering, but it's not, so it's okay. It seems to be consistent. So if you just look at revenues top down, they're pretty much fucked here. Total revenue is 29. You jump into the costs of things, and you see here the imagery and engineering is about 20. So they made about 9 million in margin. But goddamn, look at their SG&A. They have 40 million in SG&A, and then depreciation of equipment. Forget that. But you see, so they're in an operating loss position of 48 mil, and that's substantial. But it's still a bit less than last year. 88 million was the last 9 months. The last time I looked at 9 months, September, but now we're at 6 months. They're at 49. If this run rate continues, then let's say it's 50, a nice round number 50, then 12 months, they're going to be at 100 mil. And that's no bueno. So seems like they need to get their costs under control, which is an issue, right? Because if you're not generating enough revenue and your costs are always in excess, then obviously you're eating into your cash reserves, right? You're burning cash. And hopefully if they included the cash flow statement, we would be able to see that. We'd highlight that quickly. Okay, so we got that. Where's the cash flow? Yeah, there you go. Okay, cash flow. This is where the money is. Okay, cash flow will show you everything that you need to know. Because at the end of the day, for startups, cash is king. If your cash flow sucks, you are going to have to raise cash again. Nobody's going to lend you money. Banks don't give a shit about your feelings. Banks don't care about how revolutionary your thing is. Banks need to make money, so they'll only lend money to people who make money or who have substantial assets. So here we see $46 million loss from ops. You carve out depreciation, you carve out stock-based comp. And that's how much they're losing. So in the first 6 months, they lost 28 million in cash. They burned through 28 million in cash. And here they say they purchased short-term investments of 43. They invested again in satellite stuff. So they're 68. So ops, from just operations, they're burning 28 mil. From their investing activities, they spent another 69. But the 43, I think it's like short-term investments, so it's not really cash burn. So they decreased 100 million cash. So that's where your 100 mil went. Your 100 million cash burn from December 31st, right? Because they had 160. Where was their cash burn? Well, the cash position, I guess. Their cash position will go back up to the balance sheet here. Oh, but this is June to June, but still. They had a lot of cash before. They had close to 165 as of December. And as of September, they had 198. So they burned a lot of cash, and of the 100 mil that was burned, from the beginning of the year, they burned 100 mil. The 100 mil was largely 28 from operations, 44 that they put in investments, which is okay, but 20 mil in spend for satellite work in process. So a lot of things going on there. Let me see if I can zoom out here, and we can go through the actual financials. I guess I have to go on the SEC website, but before I do that, let's take a look at what kind of, fun marketing materials they have, where this is the part where they say, oh yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that, and it's not restricted into financial reporting, accounting standards. Like, this is where you have your free-for-all. You can tell anybody anything, and it doesn't mean anything, because they have, a clause. They reserve the right to say, well, everything here could be bullshit and it can change. So, but it's good marketing materials to help people understand where things are going. So, this is their non-legal stuff, okay? So here you see Brian O'Toole, Henry Dubois, but I wonder how they say it in American or in English, American English. They probably say Henry Dubois, 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 Dubois. I don't know, but in French it's Dubois. Henri Dubois. Okay. Anyways, so first of its kind platform to achieve reliable and dynamic hourly monitoring from space. Okay. BlackSky is changing how we use space to deliver actionable intelligent action. Blah blah blah. Okay. Ooh, Ukraine fundamentally changed what customers can expect. So as anticipated, as I thought, you know, they're in Ukraine monitoring key events for government agencies, dynamic monitoring of critical economic assets, supporting humanitarian aid efforts. Of course, you gotta do that. All right. Now, a smart approach to space. 90% of GDP occurs on 15% of landmass, so they're saying that they do a lot of monitoring. Now they got 14 satellites. In September they had 12. Now they have 14. So that's good. More satellites means more abilities to offer more reliable services and more recurring services. You know, and I could see a lot of value for this, like in any war zones or any hot zones or any areas where there's like crazy militias that are trying to blow up government infrastructure, you know, critical infrastructure, like imagine like oil facilities or whatever. You'd want to be able to regularly monitor movements around that area. And if you start seeing like a caravan of bandits slowly start to build up troops on the side somewhere, then the government can react quickly. So there's a lot of value added here with, you know, minimal risk. So BlackSky's proprietary thing. So Q2 2022 revenue summary. Strongest quarter in BlackSky history. All right, so they more than doubled revenues. Great. Significant growth and high margin imagery and software analytical services. Strong customer demand from new and existing US and international government organizations. Very good. 1 billion electrical. What is this? All right, so they say here that they have a 1 billion electro-optical commercial layer contract. The delivery of advanced high-frequency imagery from current and future satellite constellations. Valued of up to 1 billion over 10 years. 5-year base, 5 1-year option period. Starting value 85 mil. 71 allocated to the first 2 years. Okay, so they were selected as a long-term trusted mission partner of the NRO to support our country's most critical military intelligence needs. Wow, so this is something that they did with the US government. They're saying it's potentially worth $1 billion, and they're getting paid 86 million, valued up to 1 billion over 10 years. But right now, the starting value is 86 mil, of which 71 mil is in the first 2 years. Okay, so it's a bit unclear, but it looks promising. Like right now, if they're gonna get $1 billion over 10 years, then holy shit, the stock is clearly 100% undervalued right now, right? I mean, let's look at it. We have a market cap of $344 million, but BlackSky is saying that they have a deal of $1 billion over 10 years. What's the NRO? NRO USA. Let's see. NRO USA, National Reconnaissance Office. The National Reconnaissance Office of the US of A. So it seems like they have gotten into a potential deal that is valued up to 1 billion. It could be 500 million at the end. It could be 200 million at the end, but they say up to 1 billion. So if they do milk it, you know, they're just like milking the cow, they milk it for $1 billion over 10 years, then clearly the stock is I would say is undervalued, because this is the street cred they needed for other government organizations to enter into similar deals, right? So if we look at their financials here, like let's just look at their financials, okay, quickly. So you saw here, the revenue for imagery is 23. The cost for imagery is 11. They said, oh yeah, you know, our margins are 80. So like, let's say 23 minus 11, you have 12 over 23, 52% margin, right? It's 52% margin. So if that is a if that is really a $1 billion deal, then you say, oh yeah, if they go 1 billion, 521 million is going to flow as margin into the company. And right now the company is valued at 344. So that's just one deal. Like that's pretty cool. But you know, obviously you don't know the cost mechanics behind this. Is it going to be a lot more costly? Here they say comprehensive imagery services, intelligent point area collection, theater downlink to government data terminals, advanced imagery services. So it seems to be the imagery services, but it's very possible that it is a bit more costly to service. And right now what they said they know of is starting value is 85 mil. So from the 85 mil, if you say 52, they're going to get 44 million out of that deal. That's what we know right now. And if they continuously renew as things get more expensive and you price all that in, maybe it might be $1 billion over 10 years. But this is a lot of ifs, whats, buts, or whatever. You know, budgets change with governments all the time, as we see with Palantir. There's a lot of projects probably being shelved or on hold, or they're negotiating. So this is something to think about. Now, additional key wins in global customer expansion. They have worked with the Joint Intelligence Center, Intelligence Advanced Research Project Activity, United States Air Force. Very good, very good. U.S. government's next generation defense priorities align with BlackSky. They might align with BlackSky, but they probably align with your competitors too, so I don't really care. Blah, blah, blah. Q2 financial results, 15 mil. So obviously they're growing their revenues for imagery services, which is very healthy, very good. Increased imagery and software analytical services drove cost of sales improvements. Low fixed cost structure for imagery and software analytical service provides leverage opportunities with increased revenue volumes. Exactly. Like if they have 14 satellites in the sky, the satellites are still going to be moving. They're still going to be doing their imagery. The fact that you're getting more revenues or more demands to take images here, there, whatever, wherever, it's not going to increase your cost that much, right? Maybe there might be transmission costs, data transmission costs that could be costly to send stuff from the sky to the ground, but that is not expected to be substantial in comparison to the revenues that they're pulling in. So that's one thing. Q2 to Q 2022 adjusted EBITDA. So they said sequential improvement, strong customer demand, blah, blah, blah. Revised 2022 guidance. Okay. So this is interesting. They raised their 2022 revenue guidance to 62 to 66. Prior range was 58 to 62. So they did this recently. Like this is fresh. So this is promising. That means they see a roadmap. They see a path to $66 million, whereas before it was 62. So that's promising. They expect to spend 56 million in capital expenditures. Remember, their cash position is not that strong. I mean, it's strong, but if they got like 100 mil, let's say this is short-term investments, they got 65, 43, they got like 107 mil. So if they want to spend about half of that in capex expenditures, that means their cash position will be dropping. And then, you know, their current liabilities is 23, so I'm not too stressed. But if these guys here, you know, whoever lent them the debt suddenly start to do, you know, oh, you broke your covenants, your bank covenants, you're not following the ratios that we wanted you to follow, we want you to pay up now, then they're going to be in a situation. So that's something to be mindful of. But you know, you got to spend money to make money. So I'm not... I feel like they're doing these things intelligently, and any lender would support them in these initiatives because they're clearly showing that they have solid growth in the pipeline and they feel positive about their growth. So Q2 2022 highlights, record Q2 revenues, blah, blah, blah. Establish our baseline constellation. Won several large multi-year contracts. They got that 10-year up to $1 billion. Raised revenue guidance 62 to 66. And, you know, just pro forma, just this one deal alone, they said that they can pull in 71 mil. So that means 35 this year, 35 next year. So that could be super promising. And right there, they're already blowing past their 6-month performance of pulling in 15 million in imagery, right? Or 23 million in imagery in the first 6 months, just with one contract. So it is very promising. So TJ, I hope you do get a chance to look at this. Do I think BlackSky is a terrible investment for Palantir? I do not. I am starting to see the pathway towards their profitability. Clearly, they need to scale more on the top line, get more big deals, because right now the costs are kind of heavy. 40 mil in SG&A is big, and obviously it kind of the nature of the business is kind of like that, right? Because you're in a highly niche, high talent, high skilled environment, so you're paying top dollar for your talent pool. So it makes sense that SG&A is high, but at the same time, they need to bring that out of control. You can't keep burning money. Like from ops, we saw that they're burning 27 mil in cash flow in the first 6 months, 28 mil. Let's round that up to 30 mil. Let's say they have a cash balance of 43. So let's say that's what, 97? What, am I good on my math? No, 107. Let's say it's 110 million cash, right? So 110 million cash. And right now they said, yeah, we're going to spend 55 in CapEx because they have to. I think it's related to that $1 billion deal. So they're going to have to spend more money in CapEx. Then you got 55 left. Then you take out the 23 million in liabilities that they owe. Then you got 32 left. Then you take out the 27 that they're burning every 6 months for the last 6 months of the year, right? From July 1st to December 31st. Then bam, you got 5 million left. So they really have to manage their cash flow. They really have to manage how they're going about their cash spend. It has to be done in a proper way. I would say try to hold off on the CapEx spend as much as possible and try to work on those contracts that you got, that $75 million contract. Try to pull in that cash first. Then spend your money, spend that 55 mil. Did they say that they're going to spend it in the current year? CapEx expenditures, yeah, revised 22 guidance. So they're going to spend 56. I don't know how much they spent of that already. But if we look at their cash flow in terms of CapEx, they said they spent 20 mil so far on satellites and 5 years. So they spent 25. So they have another 25 to go. So, I mean, we could revise my little math there. 110 minus 25. Then they burn another 28 for the 6 months. Then if they have to pay everybody their 23 mil in the next 12, they have about 34 mil. And then you got your I already did the cash burn of 27, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay. So I mean, it's not too bad, but I wouldn't say be on edge, but I would say be cautious and follow closely. That's what I would do for BlackSky. And if you have some stupid money, then you can and depending on your risk tolerance, you can invest, because it is a microcap stock. It's not like Palantir with 2.5 billion in cash. Palantir is not going anywhere, BlackSky, though, it could be questionable. Palantir, 2.5 billion, zero debt. They're not going anywhere. As much as people want to think they're gonna crash because they changed a few words on the investment deck and they said they're gonna make 1.9 instead of 2 billion as a base case. Bruh, you gotta evaluate your own risk tolerance and then make your decision. So that's that. So now that I'm done with BlackSky, I'm gonna kick it and just do some fun stuff, see what's up, what's going on in the world, and I'll wrap it up with idiots in cars, because that is my favorite thing to do. Hold up. So let me see, reddit.com, idiots in cars, how are you doing, idiots in cars? Let me put this on. I mean, I don't really need this, but all right. So let me zoom in a little bit. All right, so this is the first video. Driver self-posted to a Facebook group hoping he gets support. Comments are roasting this guy. All right, let's see what's up. Wait, maybe we should have some sound, because usually you hear some entertaining cussing and entertaining words. So let's see what's going on.
So like if I eat, it gets bad.
It's not a fucking
All right.
It's not a fucking crossing. It's not a pedestrian crossing. You don't have right of way.
Oh, wow. I mean, it looks like it was a school zone and there was clear signs saying people will be crossing. And this guy decides to just keep going and then drop some rules on them. Like, yeah, this is not a pedestrian crossing, bro. Nobody's gonna walk 300 meters down to the pedestrian crossing to walk back up 300 meters. People are gonna cross. And as a car or someone operating a machine that can kill, you're supposed to yield to pedestrians no matter what. If they're drunk crossing on the road, if they're stupid, if they look both ways, you're supposed to yield. You're not supposed to just go, yeah, you know, let me run you over. Your crosswalk is on the other side. God damn, how are people so dumb? Come on, let's watch this again.
So like if I eat, it gets bad.
There's a school sign zone.
It's not a fucking crossing.
And there is... And there's a sign right there. I believe the sign says it's a crossing.
Not a pedestrian crossing. You don't have right of way.
Wow. That's pure suspect moves. I mean, God, it's like, it looks like it's daytime and there's a kid in the car. What kind of influence are you? And the kids that are crossing, like, why are you sending that kind of energy? Makes no sense. That is that is ridiculous. Let me see what else I can find here. Let me make myself a little bit smaller. All right, we good. So this happened the other day. Let's see what happened. This guy stops at the stop sign. Oh man, I don't know how I feel about this. This is like something where, you know, you gotta be, why is it flashing so much? You gotta be like aware of your surroundings. And, you know, you gotta get that truckers have, like, truckers are not like trying to cause accidents. They're just doing their job, right? I mean, the guy stopped. He did a full stop. Yeah, this is like, okay, like, I don't know how I feel. Like, the trucker is ultimately responsible. He knows how things can go down with his heavy vehicle. He was stopped on a lane that goes straight, but he didn't put his turn signal on. At least when this guy was approaching, he didn't put it on yet. And then he cuts left and hits this guy. So, I mean, that's just like a perfect storm. I want to see what other people say. If only vehicles had some kind of flashing light to show which way they were intending to turn, this might have been avoided. One day someone will invent something. One day. 100%. 100%. Oh man, that was kind of ridiculous. Let's see what's going on this one. I'm tired of these road ragers. Are they brake check? Looks like they're both brake checking each other and they're both hitting each other. Let's see.
Come on. Come on.
I wish I could see the rest of this video. I feel like both guys are idiots here. One guy is clearly, you should never brake check a heavy vehicle, like, unless you're asking for a death sentence, because it's possible that that guy who's been on the road for hours and hours, not seeing his friends, family, whatever, might finally crack and just say, fuck it, this was my daydream. I'm gonna run this guy over and fucking crush his car. Like, fuck it. And some people might do that. He might just, you know, they might do that. And this guy did kind of like a variation of it. He went on the side and he ripped the whole back bumper off, which is kind of, you know, I get a lot of people want to do that. They fantasize about doing this, but obviously these guys pulled over, probably shot the shit, probably fought, probably called the cops, and both of them probably had to settle on insurance. Like, I think the trucker probably had to settle on insurance because the Civic can say he's just slamming the brakes because he likes to maintain that type of distance, and the trucker is just up behind him, you know? Like, you gotta see that context too. So no good. Look at this guy. Let's see what's gonna happen here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, hey, if you're already at a car wash, you know, you have a simple life, you know, you're trying to manage your costs, you know, wash your car, hit them angles. This guy literally almost died. Shit. How are people so damn reckless? It makes you wonder, how are people so damn reckless? This guy probably went home and counted his blessings that day. Look at this guy. Fucking, yo. I swear to God, there's no shortage of bad drivers in this world. There are no shortages of bad drivers. And look, this guy just dips. Damn, it's good that they have these planters to protect pedestrians, because if like this guy was, if someone was just casually walking and this guy just cut through, he could have killed somebody. Yo, some people shouldn't have their license. Like, as bad as it sounds, I think it's, I mean, that guy looked like an older gentleman, but as bad as it sounds, I think having a license is like a privilege, right? And it shouldn't be like, oh, well, you only get your license in year one and then that's it. You never get it again. I feel like the government should do random calls. Like every 5 years, within that 5-year mark, you know, there's going to be a random call. It's within the law, like, you know, jury duty or some shit like that. And they say, yo, you have a license. You got to show up to the bureau this week on Thursday, and you got to do a driver's exam right away. And if you fail, then you got to go back to school and get your license again. Like, it's not popular, but I feel like that's what needs to be done. Or maybe that needs to be done for like targeted populations. You know, I'm not trying to be ageist, but like, you know, maybe the older crowd that is losing their motor skills or their vision, you know, it's just human evolution, but it needs to be done, because this kind of shit, like, yo, this happened. I see, like, this happens like all the time. Like, how does this guy just decide to casually smash into that? Like, it makes no goddamn sense. Like, look at this. It's just like going straight and then just cuts. It's ridiculous. All right, let's see what's up here. If you waited an extra second, he'd be fine. This reminds me of the Family Guy skit. Like, let me see if I can find it. Okay, so what's happening here is this guy goes from one lane and just cuts, doesn't care, and gets it into an accident. Like, you shouldn't be doing that in the first place. You should be coasting. The trucker, I mean, I'm surprised the trucker's flying down. Like, he should be more responsible too. Like, you're a heavy machinery, traffic is slowing down, you don't know if someone's gonna pop up out of nowhere, and this guy's just flying down like it's all good. But this video reminded me of this.
I too will be abstinent. I'll be as untouched as the turn signal in an Asian woman's car.
How much signal I need to cut across 8 lane? None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody else.
Oh man, I don't know how Family Guy's not canceled yet, but it is something that I'm surprised of. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up with this. I think I hit 45 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap it up with this. So help me understand why. Okay, wait. What do you think is gonna happen? You think someone's gonna show up through the bushes right here and just fly out, hit every car possible? Is the truck going to just ram into somebody? Or is the truck going to be turning and someone comes flying down this way? We'll find out. But I know the truck is the main actor here. Has to be. He's doing his turn. Oh, this guy's going. Okay, I got it. I got it. See, you know, this reminds me of a video. See, it's clearly red, right? On both sides. It's red there. It's red here. The trucker's turning left. Like, this is like the respect you put, right? Like, people are waiting to turn left. The guy who's waiting on the edge, okay, fine. You take your red. Everybody just holds their breath and moves on. But sometimes there is also someone equally rushed who's gonna pull this straight. He just wants to go straight. He doesn't give a fuck. He has to do something. Has to go to the washroom. Has to, you know, his wife is pregnant in the car. He's trying to get to the hospital, which kind of stupid to do this, but there's always someone who does that. And there was a video that I did. I commented on. After that, I'm gonna wrap this up. And a lot of people gave me shit for it. Like, a lot of people were like, yeah, you're an idiot. You know, it's not that guy's fault. But I'm like, as someone who's turning left, regardless, you should have like some form of situational awareness, right? Like, you should see what people are doing around you. And maybe that's because, you know, I went to like, I got my motorcycle license. I went to school for motorcycles, and it's like, yo, there's not much separating you between the ground, you know? So you have to have like next level situational awareness and look around and know what's happening, even if you do have the right of way. So I remember people gave me shit for this. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. All right, so this is the video. Tell me what you guys think, girls and guys. Tell me what you all think. But obviously, it's the driver taking the red's fault. But